Good morning and welcome to Daily Hope. My name is Joan Stevenson. I'm the Director of Children's Ministry at North Coast Calvary Chapel. Well, here we are, January 11th. How are those New Year's resolutions going, those 2022 goals? I'm not sure if setting the goals for the new year is just an American thing, but we're all inspired by people who set goals and achieve them. Some of us are a little cynical about New Year's resolutions, and that's okay. But even if we don't own a full focus planner or set New Year's resolutions or have this great vision board for 2022, I can guarantee you that we are all living in pursuit of something. There's something that drives our actions and our behaviors, and sometimes we're really aware of it. We're very intentional, we're very focused, and other times it's a little more subtle. We might have set a goal to lose weight in 2022, and we have a diet plan and an exercise plan, and we have everything lined out. Or we just might find that over the years we've discovered we fall into certain patterns. We don't really understand our choices and our behaviors, but we know there's something that's driving them. That curiosity can move us to kind of examining our lives and what we're doing. So here we are in 2022, and we pursue a lot of things. And in the beginning, it can be really exciting. Let's get out the calendar and plan all these adventures. Let's get a business plan together or set our goals for our business, our sales goals. Let's get our financial house in order. Let's get our bodies in the shape that it needs to be. And it can be really exciting to do those things. But somehow, after pursuing all of these things, we can end up feeling just like U2 said in their iconic song, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And that's what the author of Ecclesiastes has been driving home over and over and over. We've heard this refrain, this relentless, meaningless, everything is meaningless. It's all smoke or a vapor or a spitting into the wind. Vanity is of vanities, all is vanity. And it can feel like, ugh. That's horrible. It's like talking to, that relative at your family get-together who's just a doomsday person, or it can feel like talking to that person who's like almost too brutally honest with us. And that is how the author of Ecclesiastes has been. He's been saying this from the very, very beginning to know that all these pursuits are meaningless. So what are we to do? How are we to live? Ecclesiastes 12 verses 1 says, remember our Creator in the days of our youth. Remember our Creator. Remember our Creator. There's a saying that says that youth is wasted on the young. And while I don't want to become an authority on whether I'm young or old, I think my perspective on that has changed as I've gotten older. There's that understanding that when we are young and we're full of energy and full of our bodies are in their prime, we can't imagine growing old. We can't imagine that life will be any different. But the author of Ecclesiastes knows things will change. In verses 2 through 7, he calls our attention to the fact that our bodies will change, that we won't be able to pursue all the things that we used to do, the things we took for granted, going on a hike or walking down the street, all of those things will change. Verses 6 through 7 of the Message translation says, life, lovely while it lasts, is soon over. Life as we know it, precious and beautiful, ends. The body is put back into the same ground it came from. The spirit returns to God who first breathed it. If this is what we are destined for, the author reminds us, remember your Creator. So, what do we do in response? Verses 9 through 14 wrap up the whole of Ecclesiastes in this chapter. And the teacher or the preacher, as some versions translate, remind us that he has authority to speak to this matter. He has wisdom. He's pursued every pursuit known to mankind. But then he reminds us that the words that he gives are not just his words, but the words given by God. And verses 13 through 14 sums it all up. Fear God and obey his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. As another translation says, the last and final word is this: fear God, do what he tells you, and that's it. Eventually, God will bring everything we do out into the open and judge it according to its hidden intent, whether it's good or evil. In contrast to all other pursuits, that are labeled as meaningless. To fear God and follow his commandments applies to everyone. It is not complex, it is not difficult to grasp, but a life lived in relationship with God is a life lived in the perspective that one day we too will age and die. A life lived that one day knowing that we will stand before God in his judgment seat, and that all of our pursuits, all of our deeds, and all of our intentions will be exposed to him to determine if they are good and evil. That kind of life is not meaningless. So keep after those 2022 goals. Keep after those New Year's resolutions, but make your ultimate pursuit to live an awe-filled worship of God, knowing that he is almighty, that he loves you, that he keeps his commands, and then knowing that everything else is a lesser pursuit. Have a great day and Happy New Year.